Saramonic is on a roll. They now have a headset microphone, the Saramonic DK6. I've been getting a lot of Saramonic products this year. I started with this USB lavalier microphone. This was $35. It's just a regular lav, but it plugs into directly USB, and it's a analog to digital converter in there. And then this works really well. It's very loud. I got the Saramonic Blink 500 Pro transmitter and receiver set. They have one that's a 3 set where there's 2 transmitters, 1 receiver. I just got the standard pair and it comes in this case, and I'm impressed with this one. I'm going to do a review on this later and compare it to the Rode Wireless Go. So I got the DK6, and this should be able to plug into the Blink. So I'll do that test in this video. And I'm also going to compare the Saramonic to the Countryman. This is my tried and true trusty headset wireless mic that I've been using for Sennheiser type inputs and anything that accepts more of a Sennheiser 3.5 millimeter. If you had a Sony, this wouldn't work. You would need the Sony version. This is H6 that Countryman makes. It's very popular, and I used to own a few of these. I'm only down to 1, which is why I got the DK6. So let's unbox this and do a test and compare it with the Countryman. Got some Saramonic swag, packet of candy. And this is the beige. I didn't see it in another color available. This goes for about $160 retail plus tax or wherever you end up buying it. Okay, I tried this on just now, and it is about as uncomfortable as you'd imagine these headset mics being. It's light. It fit it's pretty. There's not a lot you can adjust here. That's one of the things I was with these cheaper ones, these cheaper headsets. I wonder how replaceable this could be, because this is really wide. If you have small ears, this may not fit you at all. Also, if you have a small sized head, this is more on the larger side because it's a universal wire here. Saramonic, it appears they tried to make it universal, so it's not adjustable. It doesn't have a lot of adjustability, and this is a really wide loop. If you have big ears, this will fit you. But if you have more of a petite frame as far as your head and your ear shape, yeah, this is gonna have trouble staying on. Also, the way that the mic is curved in so much, this was just touching my cheek. So if you have facial hair or a thick beard, if you're Santa, this is gonna get in the way. But that's the case for all headset mics. But beards just don't go well with headset mics in general. But this in particular, it just stuck to my face. Shouldn't be that big of a problem. It's an omnidirectional mic. I'm just gonna put on the little windscreen. I'll do the audio test in a moment. See how easy this is. Doing it in real time. Come on. Okay, there we go. Pop that little guy on there. Yeah, if we compare the Saramonic to the Countryman H6, which there's different models. I got this one for around $600. They range. You can find them a little cheaper or maybe buy them used. These are more of the average price of a decent headset mic. They go from $500 to I've seen them $800 for some of the really high-end ones. They're about $800. So these aren't cheap. And I think a lot of the price comes into how the frame, the headset is actually built. So if you look at the Countryman here, it has retractable metal frame. So there's a larger metal frame here, and then you can retract the sides. So depending on the size of your head, you can retract them. And also, if you notice on the ear here, it has a different type of material than on the band in the back. This is more flexible. So you could bend this, physically bend it to the shape of your ear. This is really good for people who have smaller heads and smaller ears. I wouldn't say children. This is for adults. This isn't for kids. You could put this on a kid, but for adults, if you have a smaller sized head, a more petite frame with the shape of your head and ears, I would go with something that has this kind of a design, or just buy the Countryman. Spend the money if you really need something like this. I use this headset for fitness, for yoga. People who yoga teachers, when they're teaching online, I use this right here, or any kind of fitness, aerobics. You've seen the bigger aerobic Zumba. They might use those bigger headsets that look like megaphones. That's fine too. It's designed for sweat, but this is also designed for sweat. People in theater sometimes use this. It's not as hidden. For conferences, if people are doing conferences, if they're doing a TED Talk, you could find something like this, where the Saramonic, just as far as the shape goes and how it goes on the head, this is perfectly fine for a conference, or you're giving a presentation for a big crowd, or you're finding a way to plug, or you just need something like it. This is a good generic one, but the Countryman, just the features I've already listed, you could tell where the money goes. Also, the Saramonic, you can adjust the length by turning this knob and then retracting it, but you can't really do much, and it only stays on the left side. You can't flip it over to the right side, as far as I can tell, without breaking something and then gluing it back on. The Countryman, on the other hand, you can swap the mic left or right. Right now I have it on the right side. And then also on the Countryman, you can detach the cable. So there's a cable that goes to the microphone, and then it extends, so you can detach it. So if this breaks, you can get another one without having to get the entire set over. Whereas the Saramonic, it's all one long cable. I've seen Rode. Rode has their own that's been out for a while. I've seen another device where Rode sells just the frame, the head frame, and then you can take one of their lavalier microphones and then clip the lavalier microphone onto the frame that they provide. I think it's around $25, and they have different sizes, small, medium, and large. I'm looking into that. They've been sold out where I'm trying to find them, and that could be also a solution too, a cheaper solution. Okay, now I'm going to test them, the audio quality. So I got the Zoom F1 here. Plug it into here, and I'll record. First, I'll record directly into the Zoom, and then I'll use the Saramonic wireless Blink Pro. So let me turn this on here. So let's do the Saramonic. Saramonic, the good thing about the F1 is a locking connection. So I'm going to plug that in. So now I'm going to put this on my head, and then I'm going to press record. I'll just press record now. And I'm recording. This is the Saramonic DK6. That's for syncing. Now I'm going to get the microphone here. Just place it around my head. All right, there we go. Now the microphone is, I can already feel it on touching my cheek, because it, like I said, it hits the side of your mouth. And yeah, I'm moving around here. I'm testing the range of motion in my head. Seems to be okay for spoken word stuff. I'm gonna play with the cable, see if the cable shows up on the recording. Get some cable noise. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to touch the frame of the headband. I'm just going to touch it like this to simulate if I was recording a yoga session or fitness. You know, there's a lot of movement. So let me test the movement. So now I'm touching the frame back here. I'm touching different parts of the headset. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, there you go. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to continue to record. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to unplug the Zoom, and then I'm going to plug in the Countryman. Here it goes. Let's see if this how badly this is going to mess up the recording. Boom. Okay. There you go. Still recording on the Zoom. Now I'm going to plug in Countryman. Okay, Countryman, test. There he goes. Reading it. Now I'm going to take the Countryman and place this around my head. A little bit of a tighter fit. And all right, now I'm recording with the Countryman. I didn't change the audio gain at all with the Zoom. So what you're hearing now in the recording is I'm gonna play this raw. I'm not gonna process this audio. You're gonna hear it just raw, directly from the F1. So you heard it raw from the Saramonic DK6, and now you're hearing it raw from the Countryman H6. And it should be better. It should be better. It costs more. I'm gonna play with the wire. Then I'm going to play with the headset. That's what it sounds like. As far as comfort level goes, that like I was saying earlier, for me there's more. Well, not just for me. There's more adjustments you can make on the headset, so it is more comfortable than the Saramonic, and I feel like I could move more. I have more range of motion with the Countryman than I did with the Saramonic. But yeah, that's what that sounds like. Saramonic Blink Pro 500. Take these two guys out. And one of them is the transmitter, one of them is the receiver. This is the receiver. And I'm going to take the included cable and go line out. And let me turn these guys on. Okay, they're turned on. And this one has a microphone built in, so let me test it with the microphone. Yeah, it's reading it. Okay, good. All right. Now we're going to go, still recording, going to take this off. The Countryman. Just a pop. And plug in the Saramonic. Okay, so now this should be... The Saramonic is the Blink 500 Pro has its own microphone, so you're hearing the microphone now from the Blink 500 Pro, the microphone that is on the receiver, on the transmitter. Plug that in like that, and now let me test to see if it's reading. Yep, it's reading there. And now I'm going to put this on over my head. Okay, now I am wearing the Saramonic DK6 now, and you're hearing it wirelessly transmit from the transmitter from the Blink 500 Pro into the Blink 500 receiver into the F1. Imagine this as your camera that you're recording. And this is what it's going to sound like. I could be mobile, walk around. And I haven't adjusted the audio levels on the F1 this entire time. It's been set at the same level. But the Saramonic also, the 500 Pro, has its own gain. I haven't messed with that. I don't even know what it is. It could be low. I'm not sure. doesn't seem to be that high because it's not clipping here in the meters. And you know what? Let me just test the Countryman too. Let's see what the Countryman sounds like. So I'm going to unplug. Take off the Saramonic. Okay, something happened with the Saramonic. It doesn't go into the Saramonic. Interesting. I did not test this earlier, so you're hearing it. You're walking through it just like I'm walking through it with me. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the recording of the Zoom. Stopped it, and I don't know what it sounds like because I haven't listened back to it, but that's the Saramonic DK6. I haven't seen many other reviews for it, so this is my first pass at a review, and I might do a sequel to this review after I get more use out of this. So far, I think it's okay for the price that I paid for it, which was $160-ish.